Hi, I'm Aiman. Welcome back to another gardening video. In this video, I show off my mom's herbs, vegetables, plants that are exotic. In this video, we're going to be finishing up the exotic group with lemongrass. So we were supposed to do this video about a week ago, but we had to postpone it because it was getting dark. And recently, the weatherman said that the temperature is going to dip down to around mid-30s. So my mom harvested the lemongrass to save it. Because if there's frost, that means the lemongrass is going to become mushy and useless. That being said, we've already done a video on lemongrass going into a bit more detail than this video will go into. In this video, we're just going to be highlighting some benefits of lemongrass. So here are some health benefits. Lemongrass helps digestion, it fights cancer, it controls your cholesterol levels, cleanses and detoxifies, heals colds and flu, keeps skin healthy, reduces arthritis pain, benefits new mothers, reduces body odor, and fights depression. So it's a pretty beneficial plant. So if you've seen my video on lemongrass, and you should, I have highlighted its uses in Asian cuisine. And personally, we used it in Malaysian satay, rendang, and tom yum. So we still have a few plants here going. And if you haven't seen it before, this is an actual lemongrass plant while it's still in the ground. Usually in Asia, they plant these on the ground, but you can also plant them in containers like we did. But we also planted them in the ground. Sometimes they can grow a bit taller, but they're usually in these clumps with these very, very sharp leaves. And we still have to yank out a few more and save them before frost comes. Here's more of the lemongrass that we planted in a container, and it's near our house. If you don't have a lot of land and you want to plant these, it shows that you can plant them in pots or containers like these. Growing lemongrass is fairly easy. If you live in a tropical Asian country like Malaysia, you could always go to your neighbor and ask for some what the heck? Okay. You can always go to your neighbor and ask for some rooted lemongrass already. However, if you live in Australia or United States, then you can always go to an Oriental store and buy lemongrass. It usually has no roots, looks like this. Then you can fill a cup of water and stick it in, like most of the plants that we featured on this. And then after a few days, it will start to grow roots and look like this, or this. Then that's the time to put it into the ground. And then it should start looking like that. And after 3 or 4 months, it should be looking like this. A pretty big growth spurt. What's that? Oh. So, don't mind the cat. He's getting down quite fine. Woo. Okay, so if you're growing lemongrass and you want to encourage its growth, the way to do that is to trim the leaves by grouping them together and then snipping them so that you leave a little leaf like that. And that encourages growth. However, if you want the stalk to be bigger, then you just leave it like that, because if you leave the leaves on, they feed more nutrients to the stalk and that makes it bigger. Here's another example, and since it's the end of growing season, we're going to cut this to make it fairly easier for us. Right here. You should also wear gloves for this, because the lemongrass leaves are fairly sharp and can cut you. And they feel like a paper cut. I felt that personally about 10 times yesterday while carrying lemongrass. There's this method of preserving the roots until the next growing season, in which you cut off the top, you take the bottom half, you take I think it's a spade, and you loosen dirt around it. If you go in the ground, if you live in the tropics, then you can just use a shovel. But since we live in America, we're going to be using this tiny spade. Then you're going to loosen the ground around it to get it able to pull out. And as you can see, it just shifted. Then you're going to pull it out entirely. and then you put this in a pot. You put it in like a dark space. You have to keep it moist until the next growing season, like springtime. And then you can bring it back out and then put it in the container. It has to be around 50 to 55 degrees, and then you should be good to go. However, that's a bit complicated. You can always just do the method we've shown before, buying a lemongrass and then just sticking it in a cup. So just to make clear for anyone who actually wants to try this, the way to do it is to actually just cut it above dirt level, maybe about 1/4 of an inch. And then you just take the roots and store it. You don't take the whole thing, that would be crazy. But you could always look online for an actual guide in order to guide you along the way. For those of you who have been watching very attentively, you may have heard a cat scream and then the camera going all wild. Well, my dad stepped on Zamoonfu here, but she's fine, alright? So, Zamoonfu here is I think a Himalayan Persian. And Himalayan Persians are kind of like dogs. They're over attentive and they're very friendly. She's purring in my hand now. And that's Zamoonfu. So this cat right here, Zamoonfu, she's very important in my dad's memory, and to all of us. But mainly my dad, because when she was a baby, she would, or a kitten, she would hang out with my dad by sitting on his shoulder while he sat in the office chair doing work. He called her Blue Eyes Moreza or something like that. And they grew up together, I guess. And they shared a lot of memories. But that being said, she's important to all of us, to all our family members, but to my dad the most.